3, 2, 1.
We good? Sound going? All right. How do I look, Jimmy? Handsome? No? How does Eli look? He looks fucking cool, man. I dig that. I dig the whole. You got a Leon Russell vibe going. Yeah, totally.
Huge Leon Russell.
Are you? Oh, okay. You belong right now. Did you go check out the church while you was in Tulsa?
No, I didn't. We went straight from Lubbock to here, but I would love to. I mean, Leon Russell and the Shelter People is one of my favorite records.
Well, I recommend doing that because it's really cool. They just redid it, and you need to go check that out. By the way, this is Eli Howard, in case, well, it'll say that in the title. But we're doing a little interview. We did a little band interview live, so now we're doing a one-on-one with Eli here. Eli from Oregon. So Oregon, let's start there.
Yeah.
All right. So you grew up all in Oregon and the whole.
Yeah, I've lived there my whole life.
Yeah. So you.
Same town.
Yeah. So did that area? Was that a place you were influenced musically much?
You know what's surprising is we had a really good band teacher at our high school, which I never took band, but man, he cranked out a lot of really good musicians.
Sometimes.
And the choir teacher did too, and they were both there for a really long time, and like they made some really, really good vocalists, and Matt Ferris, the band teacher, made just musicians out of hundreds of kids.
Really? That's cool, man. So that made an impression on you, think, since
Absolutely.
you're underpass. Huh?
Years later, I never had him as a band instructor, but he was my history teacher, so we'd always talk music. And years later, he came to watch me play, and he was a drummer in the Army band.
Oh, really?
And I told him, I was like, man, if we play like some old 70s standard of some kind, will you get up and sit in on drums with us? And we play like a Steve Miller tune together.
Really?
Yeah, and he was like chugging beers with us and stuff like that. I was like 22 years old. And to just like hang out, I was like, man, you're just like a regular old person.
Did you joker or what'd you do?
I think we did Rockin' Me Baby.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though, man, to see your band teacher out there. I was like, why don't you get back here for one tune?
That would be an amazing thing, and then also to have him come up there on stage with you, it'd be a neat experience. I'm still friends with my old art teacher from school years and years ago, and we go see music. Matter of fact, her and I and saw Styx together here recently.
Yeah, that's cool.
But her friend had pictures of, golly, we're talking about early 70s. She took photographs of Kiss and Fleetwood Mac and all these guys that come through, because one of her good friends also was a writer for Tulsa World. So it's neat to me years later still be enjoying music with her and you know, having that same kind of thing. You know, she turned me on to a lot of stuff herself. You know, great art teacher. I had her for years and years. But
it's good to have a mentor like that.
Yeah, I was a horrible student, but still, she was sweet enough to handle me. So okay, so you know, you said you started playing when you were 12.
Yeah.
And, you know, that doesn't just happen by accident. I mean, somebody had to hand you, you started playing, it was guitar first, right? Yeah, makes sense. So who got you your guitar and what, you know, or did you just say, hey, I want a guitar?
I told my parents I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and my dad hated it.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like music, but he did get me an electric guitar for Christmas when I was 12, is how I ended up with my first guitar.
He loved you. He got you an electric guitar. That's cool.
It was really neat. And I'm so glad that my parents knew nothing about instruments, because it was such a piece of crap that it made me strive for something better. Yeah. And I've seen so many kids that were my same age start with something decent and give up. And I think the fact that I had to fight it all the time, and like when I finally did get a good instrument, I was so grateful for it.
Well, you know, that just means you had a determination and drive to do it. It's like I tell my own son.
I liked it too, is the thing too. If you like something, the
more
you like something, you're better you'll be at it, because you're passionate enough to want to explore more.
Well, you know, you got to have drive as well. You got to want it. I mean, that's it. It's not, yeah. And so that's like I tell my own son. He's kind of into music and digital stuff. I said, man, you just got to want it. You got to spend that time on your own time, and then we can do it for you. So you had that, and clearly still jamming it out. So you write? Now I know you're in a band. Do you write all the material?
Yeah,
yourself?
I write songs.
Okay.
We got one song on our next record that MK wrote.
Yeah.
My keyboard player.
Yeah. So, what's your routine on that? A lot of writers have a certain routine where they just like to, or you just whenever the mood strikes you.
I put it off and I put it off and I put it off until inspirations basically slapped me in the face. And like I wrote a new one. It was the first week of this tour. I was driving back from Walmart in Pocatello, Idaho, and something hit me. All right, I better write. Like these same lines had kept coming back to me. I was like, all right, I better hurry up and write this song. So I drove around for a little bit until I gathered my thoughts, laid in the bed, like got back to where we were staying, lay down in bed, and just wrote the song in my notepad on my phone, put it away, and we went to the studio 2 or 3 days ago and recorded. Like I never revisited it or nothing. Like we just arranged it there in the studio, so I don't get too plugged into any of my ideas or married to them.
Yeah.
It's just like if I put it away and don't mess with it till we're in the studio, it's very open to change in interpretation. So
now you're going against what Willie Nelson says to do, you know.
everyone's different. I mean, yeah, and I mean he certainly had a lot more success than I did too. So.
Oh well, I mean, I just was watching something the other day, and I've talked to certain musicians. Of course, we do studio time with bands sometimes, or well, we're in a studio so they can come in there. I'm always like, hammer that shit out before you get in there.
I don't. I just I leave it. Like when I write my songs, I have them in a notebook usually or on the notepad of my phone, and I write them down and I just close the book and like I tell the guy when I'm going in for pre-production, the guy that produces my records, like, hey, I'm going to be learning this song the same time you are. All I did was write the lyrics and have some sort of a loose chord structure, and we're going to both figure this out from here. Because I don't want to get stuck. Like you get stuck on a bad idea, and especially when it's your idea, you think that it's the best idea. So, and you don't want to hear anyone tell you it's, you know, like that there's a better way. So what are you doing? It's ruining my art. And so I fear if I don't get married to anything.
So you're producing your own stuff? Though.
No, I work with a guy,
you
Tim Lightyear.
Tim Light. Give him a shout out.
Tim, I love you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's a good relationship to have with a producer you trust.
Yeah, that's the thing is I trust him, and I don't
Yeah.
think he's trying to like. I don't think he does anything like out of spite when he tells me like, "Hey man, you got like." I was trying to finish the song that I wrote, and he said, "Hey, I think like there was one line we were hung up on." He's like, "You got better than that on you."
Yeah, that's good.
I don't want to pay him to be a yes man to me.
Yeah. Well, if you got a good relationship with somebody, you got to be. You need that. You need honesty, obviously, and you also have to be receptive to hearing it too. So
that's the thing, setting your ego aside and letting someone tell you you got a shitty idea.
Hey man,
Some people don't like hearing that.
When I was starting out being an illustrator and working with guys, some of them old illustrators, they'd be brutally honest. Like, what the hell's going on there? I remember this one guy, why can't you draw small people? I'm like, I don't know.
If they're not being a dickhead about it, like I'm cool with it. Like, you know, if they say like what if we try this instead? Like I don't want to be a dictator in there and just say like everything that I says goes. Yeah. Otherwise I wouldn't pay the money to have a guy produce my record. I just go do it myself. Yeah,
if you trust somebody, you're trusting that their ear's going to hear something you might not. I guess, you know,
everyone, so whether you trust them or not, they're going to hear something different. Yeah. That's the beauty of interpretation.
True.
Like when we're tracking keys or the other guys, it's like when we track drums on this new song, I wasn't even there for it. Right. I was like, I'm going to go get lunch for everybody. The best thing I can do is get the hell out of the room.
Man, that is such a good feeling to know that you can hand off something to somebody and know it's going to be okay.
Well, I don't play drums. Nick plays drums. You know, that's why he's there. Like,
well, it's a good feeling to have that you know you can trust that process that you got, and it makes more time for you. You know, that's it. But you know, so you've been now. How long has the Eli band, Eli Howard and the Greater Good been together as a band?
I started recording our first record in January of 2021.
2021. So fairly recent.
Yeah, and that record didn't come out till February of 22.
Gotcha.
End of February, so it hasn't even been out a year yet.
So what did you do prior to that?
I was in another band, and I was just the lead guitar player. I wasn't even the singer.
Oh, really?
The band broke up, and I always wanted to work harder. I wanted to play a lot. I wanted to get out. I wanted to be working.
You're a great vocalist, man. I mean, obviously you're doing vocals in another band too, but
a little bit, but not much. I just kind of sat in the back. I didn't really write songs, and you know, when the band broke up, first thing I did was I texted my drummer, who was in that band with me. I was like, I just said, not really upset about this right now. Like we were all pretty well over it. Yeah. But then I texted the guy, Tim, that's working on my record, and I said, hey, my band just broke up. I'm going to do my own record. You're going to produce it. And then I set a deadline for myself. Like, all right, I need to have 12 songs ready by this date because I'm flying to Texas and I don't have them. I'm screwed. So I think we had 12 songs and we picked 10.
Hey man, that's a good way to get stuff done. You set a date, target, and then the pressure's on.
Exactly. Yeah. And if that won't motivate you, nothing will.
Right. Yeah. If you put yourself in a situation you can't stop. I understand that. I've been in that position myself many a times.
Yeah, it was kind of a challenge though, because like I said, I wasn't the singer in the band. I wasn't the songwriter. I wrote a couple songs in that old band.
Well, how long was that band together? If you don't.
6 years.
6 years. Oh, so.
But like, the thing for me is like, by that point, 6 years deep, we should have like anything that was going to happen would have happened, and a couple of members wouldn't get out of their own way. And the thing that I want to work hard. I'm like I said, like we've been out since a couple days after Christmas. We won't be home till
You can't argue with talent and hard work.
February. Yeah, hard work works when talent doesn't.
Yeah, and
talent. I don't write great songs. I'm not a fantastic guitar player. I don't, I'm not a especially good vocalist, but like I can work hard.
I think your vocals sound great, man. I think you got a great rock voice. I love it. And
Thank you.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I didn't. Jimmy turned me on to your music, and I was checking it out. I was like, man, I was excited because I love the rock vibe that you guys do. Now, obviously, I love country. We do a lot of country, but also I love the. And I don't want to pin you wholly into a southern rock thing.
It's hard for me to say southern rock too, being from Oregon. I feel
right,
like
I know it's like some southern rock guys would come up and punch you.
Right.
But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to say there's nothing wrong. It's my favorite genre. But that's just me.
I tell people I'm a folk singer that ended up on an electric guitar because
that's good.
Like when I started singing, like I could play I don't know if I could anymore, but like from memory, I used to be able to play just about anything off John Prine's first 3 records.
Oh yeah.
Neil Young, and like I'm currently working on a tribute record to John Prine. It's nothing but his songs, and they're all off his first 3 records. It's a short EP.
Did you ever see him?
Twice.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I was very fortunate. I got to see him twice.
Yeah, badass, man. Yeah. I mean, there's not any more. Golly, who would compare with him?
Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
To me, I think after John Prine passed, like Jason Isbell is the best living songwriter.
Yeah, living songwriter. Yes, I was trying to think of Billy Joe Shaver,
John Moreland,
John Prine, and
John
Moreland's a living one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Tulsa legend in the making right there. So.
Yeah.
But,
or even Patterson Hood. I mean, anyone from Drive-By Truckers. Really, I mean, Cooley, Hood. You could consider them all like top tier writers in my opinion.
Yeah. I can't argue with you there, man. I think you're pretty good yourself. So I keep telling you how great you are, but I tell him my like fawning over the rock star here a little bit. But yeah, you are good, man. I can't wait to see you play too. I'm gonna try to sneak up there and go to the Mercury tonight myself. Of course, these guys won't be seeing it in time for that. Hopefully, they'll see the Facebook Live thing. But,
yeah.
How are we doing on time, by the way, fellas? Pretty good.
Yeah, just
All right.
I had an error over here.
Oh, okay.
So everything's shot over here.
Yeah, all right. Well, man, I appreciate you coming by and shooting the shit with me and Jimmy and hanging in the garage. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
A lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to what you're going to do for us next and pick a little guitar. So.
Yeah.
All right, boss. Thank you. All right, check him out, man. We're going to have all the details and the underneath the video and all that kind of stuff. All right, say bye, Jimmy.
Bye, Jimmy.